So this Sunday we hear the beautiful story of the Transfiguration, where Jesus takes Peter, James, and John, the closest of his apostles, kind of the inner circle, and he brings them up to the mountaintop. He brings them up to the top of Mount Tabor. And there on the top of Mount Tabor appear next to Jesus, Moses to one side and Elijah on the other. Moses and Elijah are important figures here because Moses represents the law of the Old Testament. He represents all the law, the commandments that the Jews would follow. And then Elijah on the other side represents the fullness of the prophets. And so you have Jesus in the center, flanked by Moses and Elijah. Moses and Elijah pointing to the fact that Jesus fulfills everything that has pointed to him. Right? Everything in the scriptures has pointed straight to Jesus, that he fulfills both the law and the prophets. And then as he's flanked by Moses and Elijah, he's transfigured before the apostles. It says that his face shone like the sun and his garments became dazzling white, more white than any fuller on earth could make them. Right? He shows them a glimpse of heaven. He shows them the glimpse of the life to come, of what is promised to them, of why they were invited to follow him, to fulfill their heart's desires. They are showed this glimpse of heaven and they're welcomed into it. So much so that St. Peter, he says, "Lord, I see you there on the mountaintop. Let us cast 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses and Elijah. It's good that we are here. Let's stay here. Let's just stay where we are on this mountaintop. Let's stay where we are in this transfiguration, in seeing Moses and seeing Elijah standing next to you. Let's stay here in this foreshadowing of heaven." Jesus does not permit it. And they're instructed by the Father to do whatever Jesus tells them to do. Now, this isn't in the gospel for this Sunday, but in the verses following, they come down the mountaintop. And as they come down, they encounter a possessed person. They encounter crowds arguing. They encounter kind of the busyness and the chaos of life. And as they encounter everything coming down from the mountaintop, it's the invitation of Jesus to say, when you have seen me, when you have seen what is promised, when your hope is set afire, that you're now desiring and looking forward to what's to come, take that with you into the world. Right? Part of this journey to Jesus that we experience throughout Lent, part of this coming to see him, part of this coming to him and answering that invitation is actually carrying him forward into my life. I encounter Jesus here in the sacraments. I encounter Jesus in the confessional. I encounter him in the Eucharist. I encounter him in the prayer and in the liturgies of the church. But that has to change me. That when I come off of this mountaintop of prayer, when I come off of this mountaintop of the fulfillment of what is promised and what I'm instructed to move towards, I'm transformed by that so that my life looks different. The invitation when Jesus says, "Come to me," is not merely an invitation to enter heaven, but the invitation of the Lord Jesus to come to me is that he transforms us, that he uses us to transform the world, that we become the source of light, that we become the salt of the earth and the light of the world, that we become the ones who bear God's presence to a world that's desperately in need of him. Hear the invitation of the Lord Jesus to come to him, and then allow him to transform you and send you forward.